people don't know what I look like until now. Until they start going to the movies. They're gonna see my face. Big deal.
Yo, what's good? OMG Hawk, One Man Gang, back at y'all with another one.
Decatur's is flagrant. Y'all speak amongst game, but this shit is sacred. It's HG, we ain't nothing to play with. Gangster.
I hope everyone is well as always. If you made it here for the first time, I appreciate you stopping by. If you end up appreciating the content, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and I'll keep them coming. And to the returning viewers, I appreciate y'all the most. For real, y'all the reason why we still here, so thank you again. I love y'all, and y'all already know. The details in today's case are disturbing and cover some sensitive subject matter, so viewer discretion is advised. Alright, let's get right to it. Today's video is the fourth installment of a series dedicated to my home state.
Peace, Connecticut. I'm on my CT shit, but when ain't I?
They show me love every time I'm in the club. Ain't no party like a party in a club.
I'm from the last two letters when you spellin' respect.
It's Delaware, Connecticut, Connecticut, Connecticut.
Now, I know it's been a good while since I tapped in with y'all. A lot has went down and we was definitely in the mix getting some motion. Salute all the creators and everyone that popped out to all the dope events around the state. Alright, Connecticut Volume 4 brings us to the cultural capital of the state, the city of New Haven, Connecticut.
New Haven off the hook, man.
New Haven. Yeah. New Haven for sure.
I'm so New Haven.
I'm from New Haven, New Haven, Haven, New Haven, Haven. I'm from New Haven, New Haven, Haven, New Haven, Haven.
Friends turned to enemies. Random niggas was mean mugging. In New Haven, it was either get steamrolled or steam something. Oh my God.
New Haven, also nicknamed the Elm City, as it was home to the first public tree planting program in the country, is seated in the county named after itself and is located in the southern region of our little state, directly on the shore of the Long Island Sound. New Haven is about a 1.5 to 2 hour drive from New York City, depending on which borough you're traveling from, and is technically considered part of the New York City metropolitan area. Interstates 91 and 95 run through the city, with 95's New Haven section taking you over the mouth of the Quinnipiac River by way of the beautiful Pearl Harbor Memorial Bridge, locally referred to as the Q Bridge. This is what's called an extra dose style bridge. It's a pretty dope design, and there are actually only 5 bridges in the country with it. This is the only one on the East Coast. Taking this route gives awesome views of the city and New Haven's harbor, as well as the coastline and Long Island Sound. New Haven is Connecticut's third largest city, with a population of about 135,000 people. Internationally famous for the esteemed Yale University, the city is also regarded as having the best pizza in the country, being the birthplace of a pizza.
Frank Pepe, the godfather of New Haven-style pizza. Pepe came to Connecticut from Italy with only a 6th grade education and sold slices from a pushcart.
New Haven is also debatably where the first hamburger was invented and sold at Louis' Lunch in the year 1900. My personal favorite spot to eat in New Haven, though, is at the food trucks at Long Wharf. There's nothing like authentic Mexican street food, good vibes, and the glistening ocean. Alright, New Haven has quite a rich and eventful history. The name New Haven, meaning New Harbor in Old English, was given to the area by the Puritans when they arrived in 1638 and decided it was the perfect place for a new port. It was originally called Quinnipiac after the people indigenous to the area, but after time and colonization, the name New Haven eventually stuck. New Haven cemented its place in American history in 1839 during the period of the transatlantic slave trade. The Mende, a group of Africans from Sierra Leone that were being held captive on board a ship heading for America, staged a revolt before being captured off the coast and jailed in the New Haven jail during their trials on murder and piracy charges, which was located on the east side of the New Haven Green. These events were later depicted in the groundbreaking Hollywood film Amistad.
I'm the king of the world!
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 1
Fast forward some time and New Haven still hosted many landmark moments in revolutionary history. And as far as our culture, just like Bridgeport, New Haven and hip-hop have been day ones. Being home to early rap pioneers such as Steezo, Dulio, and Chris Lowe, as well as newer dope artists emerging such as Show Rock and Ty Henny, who have both been doing their thing respectively for some time now.
Ray J, Kim K, Shorty one wishes to make a sex tape, maybe save her son's Christmas. I told her you well tripping. You better tell that little nigga you Jehovah Witness and y'all don't indulge gifting. Nigga, I'm that cold. I know you got these niggas rocking.
New Haven, stand up! New Haven, stand up!
Yeah.
Be them niggas that's under your pics trying to get up with your bitch. These lame niggas, we can't trust them for shit. That's why I move accordingly. I'm trying to get what God got in store for me. They act like they want more from me, but really they want more than me. I laugh at it.
Of course, I'm gonna mention my favorite artist from the state, Daquan. Bro really been a pioneer in this CT shit. And the music.
My old friends hate me cause I'm focused nowadays. I'm either working or I'm bulling with my bae. Don't like to leave a house unless I'm getting paid. They love us but never tell us cause that shit feels so wrong. I ain't never have ass but I got packs that are strong. I'ma shoot you in your ass, you try to get me for one. I can't get no sleep cause my phone keep ringing. I just put a whole eighth in the blunt, what the fuck was I thinking?
Yeah, bro got it. Honorable mention, although I'm not sure how good of an accolade this is, but I feel like New Haven might be an early pioneer of present-day drill music, as this song
I got the thing, I'm going cuckoo, not a game, drop the chicken wings before I shoot you, I don't
went crazy in the streets and is still considered a local classic today. Now, as flavorful and deep as New Haven's history and culture goes, it's equally as notorious for being one of the most dangerous cities in the country.
30 shots rang out. This convenience store next to the shooting site took at least 7 shots to the exterior.
The city of New Haven making headlines tonight as the most dangerous city in Connecticut.
We tonight on a string of violence in New Haven that's left 2 men dead and another injured.
Investigators say 3 shootings that happened within hours of each other are related.
High poverty rates accompanied by systemic issues along with the crack epidemic that plagued all American major cities in the late 80s into the 90s were prevalent in New Haven throughout the years. New Haven was the first Connecticut city with the presence of national gang sets like the Bloods and Grape Street, alongside many local gangs that established prominence and notoriety through violence. 2011 was an infamously deadly year for New Haven, as the city was host to countless shootings and many homicides that eventually became high-profile cases that are still discussed today. The events in today's case bring us to the city's Fairhaven neighborhood. Fairhaven is located on the east side of the city and is unique as it's a peninsula surrounded by the Quinnipiac River. As a cold night would pass into the early morning of March 9, 2011, most of the Roberson family was sound asleep in their apartment located on the 2nd and 3rd floors of 48 Wolcott Street. Margaret Roberson, 66, was settled in the living room enjoying a romance novel when she suddenly started to smell gas and something burning. After getting up to check if the pilot light was out on the stove, she noticed the flickering of flames underneath the front door leading to the hallway. Now, assuming it was just a small fire, she grabbed some water from the sink and headed for the door, but before she could reach it, 21-year-old Jaqueeta Roberson had swiftly pushed the door open to alert the family that this wasn't a small fire, with the hallway behind her already ablaze. Margaret rushed to wake the others on the 2nd floor while Jaqueeta raced upstairs through the already thickening smoke to help. Wanda Roberson was sleeping upstairs in a bedroom with her son Quayshawn before being woken up herself and immediately waking the others up to get to safety. It was 1:30 a.m. when New Haven Emergency Dispatch received the first calls reporting the fire on Wolcott Street with multiple occupants trapped inside. It was reported that there were 5 members of one family that had occupied the apartment on the 2nd and 3rd floors of the 50 side of the duplex, while about 11 members of the Roberson family occupied the 2nd and 3rd floors of the 48 side, and both first floor units of the building were vacant at the time. Neighbors recalled hearing screams of terror before looking out to see the house on the corner illuminate the block, with flames completely engulfing the second floor and pouring out the windows, along with thick, billowing black smoke filling the chilly night's air. A group of Fairhaven's finest neighbors immediately rushed to help, but the intense heat and flames prevented them from advancing upstairs to help the trapped Roberson family. In fact, the fire had rapidly spread through the second floor landing and staircase, preventing any chance of exiting or entering. The family adjacent to the Robersons were thankfully able to escape by climbing out a second floor window and down an overhang to safety. Margaret and one of her grandsons made it to the front porch, where they were quickly trapped by the growing fire and overwhelming smoke. In life or death moments of desperation, some of the Robersons jumped out of second-story windows, and two young Roberson mothers threw their babies out of a second-floor bedroom window to the crowd of neighbors, who caught them before jumping into the hands of the crowd themselves. Another one of Wanda's younger sons was also caught by neighbors after bravely jumping from the second floor himself. He ran to another close-by family member's home for help. By 1:34 a.m., the first responding fire truck from Engine 10's Lombard Street station arrived, racing their ladders up to the second floor porch and rescuing Margaret and her grandson with no time to spare. 5 minutes later, a second alarm was issued, and within 12 minutes of the initial call, half the department was on the scene battling the blaze. A crew from Engine 4's Grand Avenue station, responding to the second alarm, entered the house with the hose and air packs and made their way to the third floor through intense heat and zero visibility. Tragically, they would find Jaqueeta Roberson, Wanda Roberson, and Quayshawn Roberson in the third floor bedroom, where they had succumbed to the smoke and lost their lives in the fire.
The early morning fire had firefighters working hard to battle those very intense flames. Things were so bad at one point that people were jumping from the windows of the multifamily home on Wolcott Street.
This video was sent to us through our reported feature. It was taken by a witness, and you can see the entire side of the home is engulfed. Two people trapped on the second floor porch. The dramatic rescue caught on tape. You can see the victims, desperate to escape, nearly fell down the ladder, the flames falling all around them.
Fire and flames straight out of a scene from the movies. Residents jumping from the second floor of this multifamily on Poplar Street. Children, even a baby, were thrown from the building by desperate adults forced to make a terrible choice: risk the fall or suffer the flames.
Survivors of the fire were transported to Yale New Haven Hospital's emergency department and treated for smoke inhalation, among other injuries sustained during their escape. By 9:30 a.m., only one fire truck remained on scene as daylight started to reveal the gravity of the damage, and the neighborhood struggled to come to terms with the tragedy of the previous night. Front porches were packed as neighbors watched investigators comb through the burnt-out house, trying to determine the exact cause of the fatal inferno. At 3:30 that afternoon, New Haven's mayor at the time, John DiStefano, along with New Haven Fire Department and New Haven Police Department, held a press conference at Wolcott and Poplar to issue a statement regarding the tragedy. They gave their condolences to the families of the deceased victims and gave a detailed account of the fire department's response. Investigators had quickly determined that this was an arson with the help of an accelerant-sniffing dog, and this case was officially being investigated as a triple homicide. Although they had no immediate suspects, it was reported that a dark-colored minivan was seen leaving the scene at the time of the fire. 10 detectives were assigned to investigate this case full-time, and a reward was being offered for any information leading to an arrest. Now, the revelation that someone could intentionally and callously set this fire that took 3 innocent lives and endangered over a dozen more was a heavy blow to Fairhaven, and people immediately started to speculate who could have done it. Suspicions were raised concerning the possibility that the property owner and landlord were responsible in an effort to commit insurance fraud. Even a day after the tragedy, media outlets had reported the property owner's name, as well as other properties she owned in New Haven, and even inspection reports for those properties.
The landlord's name is Lily Pashandi. She owns 3 other properties in the city, and according to the mayor, she is behind on her taxes.
Now, initially I was taken aback a bit by how quick the media was alluding to the possible landlord theory, but to shoot them some bail, New Haven, and in particular Fairhaven, has an unfortunate history with the crime of arson for profit. Now, arson for profit is when an owner intentionally sets fire to their property to collect an insurance payout on said property. Now, when the insured property is a structure or dwelling, more often than not, the perpetrators of such fraud take the money and run without fixing the property and leaving the damaged structure to blight the area it sits in. This fraud became wildly popular among scumbag property owners in urban areas across the U.S. in decades prior. So much so in New Haven that the city actually formed an arson squad back in the 70s in order to fight the problem, which was one of the first of its kind in the country. And just months prior to this tragedy, Fairhaven was home to the saga of Angelo Reyes.
There's business going on here. There were people in here, Paul. And you're capable of coming in here? I don't want to be the one behind a bar. I don't want to be the one saying, damn, I should have done it a little differently.
Yeah.
I should have been a little more patient. You know, I should have let the law handle it.
Yeah.
Thousands of tears later.
Your Honor, I stand before you, humiliated and ashamed.
Now, his story is wild in its own right and probably deserves its own episode. At one point, the feds referred to Angelo as Arsons R Us. So coming off that, it's more understandable why suspicions pointed their way, but the landlord and owner were soon cleared of any involvement, and investigations into the deadly arson continued as the Roberson family tried to regroup and figure out their next steps. A 19-year-old member of the family that occupied 50 Wolcott Street, who we'll refer to as T, spoke to the New Haven Register just a few days after the fire and stated his family was also trying their best to recover before giving a very chilling account of the events on March 9th. He stated that he was asleep in his bedroom on the 3rd floor of 50 Wolcott Street when he was woken up by his mother and brother who had just arrived home, yelling that there was a strong smell of gas in the house. He opened his bedroom door to find a large puddle of gasoline in the hallway, stretching from his door to the door across the hall. He claimed as he ran downstairs to investigate, someone ignited the puddle and the whole hallway burst into flames. On April 4th, 2011, the FBI issued a reward of $25,000 for information leading to the arrest and conviction of those responsible. A few months would go by without any updates for the public until mid-June when New Haven police released information that they were closing in on a suspect in the fatal arson that took the lives of 3 members of the Roberson family. Unbeknownst to the public, New Haven PD detectives had determined a suspect pretty early on and had been gathering information ever since, along with help from the FBI and the New Haven Fire Department in a joint task force and a federal grand jury. The first details would emerge on June 14, 2011, when FBI agents arrested and later indicted a 24-year-old Fairhaven man for conspiracy to distribute and possession of 28 grams or more of crack cocaine, as well as other charges related to drug conspiracy. Hector Natal, affectionately known as Boom Boom, of 151 Poplar Street, was allegedly on tape making a delivery of 36.1 grams of prepackaged crack to an FBI informant. During his arraignment on these charges, the U.S. Attorney's Office notified the judge as well as the public that Boom Boom was a person of interest in the fatal triple arson murder. Were vague on details and no motive was mentioned. They claimed they had an audio recording of Boom Boom himself actually admitting to setting the fire on March 9, 2011. Boom Boom pleaded not guilty to the drug charges and remained in custody without bond until his next hearing. When word reached back to Fairhaven that although he wasn't charged for the fire yet, Boom Boom, the man allegedly responsible, was behind bars, it brought the Roberson family excitement as justice was impending, but it was also tough for many to stomach considering 151 Poplar Street, where Boom Boom lived with his parents and uncle, was directly across the street from 4850 Wolcott Street.
Darren, this could be the big break that people in this Fairhaven neighborhood have been waiting for since that deadly fire burned the house behind me back in March, killing 3 people, including an 8-year-old boy. This afternoon, you see maintenance crews working on the house, still working to make it secure and safe. On the corner, there's also candles and teddy bears set up still in memory of those 3 victims. Today, investigators tell us they arrested 25-year-old Hector Natal of New Haven on an unrelated drug charge. It happened at a house this morning on Haven Street in New Haven. The U.S. Attorney's Office confirms Natal is also a suspect in this deadly fire. They say they have him on tape confessing to the crime, a crime that...
At the time this news broke, Boom Boom's father, Hector Morales, as well as Boom Boom's girlfriend, told the New Haven Register that investigators had the wrong man. His girlfriend told reporters that Boom Boom was with her at her home on Haven Street all night on March 9th. Turns out she had already told this to investigators as well as a federal grand jury when she was subpoenaed to testify. Hector Morales also told reporters from the Register that the feds had been aggressively questioning him about his son's involvement in the arson, as well as a blue Dodge Caravan he owned that matched the description of the vehicle seen leaving at the time of the arson. When asked why he recently painted the van black from its original blue color, he claimed he painted it because he intended to sell it and wanted to make it more appealing to a buyer. But the detectives weren't buying that. Hector Morales and Boom Boom's girlfriend both took polygraph tests and cooperated with the grand jury proceedings in the month leading up to Boom Boom's June 14th arrest for the 36 grams he sold to an informant. On October 4th, Boom Boom again appeared in U.S. District Court, where he changed his plea in the drug case from not guilty to guilty. Now, although no mention of the arson was made in these proceedings, we did learn more about Boom Boom as an individual. Hector Boom Boom Natal was a longtime Fairhaven resident who unfortunately struggled with school and dropped out of special education classes at the age of 16. When asked by the judge if he had the opportunity to read and understand his plea agreement, his lawyer informed the judge that Boom Boom had difficulty reading. Now, whether or not that was just a ploy by his defense to garner sympathy from the judge while sentencing is considered, one could speculate for themselves. But we also learned despite his alleged learning difficulties, Boom Boom was able to learn how to run a drug distribution business as he semi-successfully built a small network to help him sell crack, weed, and various types of prescription pills throughout the streets of Fairhaven. And his father, Hector Morales, would often drive him around the neighborhood in that dark blue Caravan to make deliveries, collect money, and would often hold and save the cash from his son's sales. We would later learn this same informant, G Money, was working with the task force investigating the fatal arson to collect evidence implicating Boom Boom in the case. G Money was another Fairhaven resident in his late teens who sometime prior to these events had met Boom Boom at a get-together in the Farnham Court projects. After playing cards and getting high together, G Money agreed to move work for Boom Boom and started accepting crack and weed on consignment. March 23, 2011, G Money was taken into custody after taking police on a high-speed chase in a stolen vehicle. After somehow learning of his possible association with their arson suspect, New Haven police officer Michael Mastropetri, affectionately known as Master P, who was a leading case agent on the investigation, offered G Money the opportunity to cooperate and become a federal witness, which he accepted the next day. G Money was fitted with hidden audio and video recording devices and released back to the streets. On March 25th, he recorded this conversation between himself and Boom Boom.
Yo, so how you burn that crib, my nigga? What you mean? Nigga, the crib right there on Wilkie.
Them niggas owe me bread, nigga.
You wildin', son. How you do that shit?
What you mean? You wildin' right now talking like that.
Nigga, how you do that shit, nigga? Just tell me, nigga. Cause niggas rolled up on me wildin', son, like for real, bro. That shit ain't real, my nigga. I'm out here trapping for niggas and shit. Y'all gonna get me locked up and shot up and shit. How the fuck y'all niggas do that shit? Who you do it with?
By myself. You know what I mean? I don't need nobody else.
Now, although these are pretty damning statements and even baffling how one could be so callous and cold when speaking about committing such a heinous act that took 3 innocent lives of people that did not, in fact, owe him bread, investigators kept the surveillance and recordings rolling while G-Money tried to extract more evidence to solidify the case. Boom Boom, already notably suspicious of G-Money's possible cooperation with authorities, as indicated in the initial recording, will continue to conduct business with him, although he would question his loyalty and his intentions on a regular basis. At one point, a New Haven fire marshal even went undercover posing as a drug dealer from nearby Meriden, Connecticut / G-Money's cousin in attempts to convince Boom Boom that he could trust G-Money. Boom Boom also gave statements that implicated his guilt in these recorded conversations as well. Master P also got Boom Boom's girlfriend to confess that Boom Boom allegedly confessed his involvement to her during an emotional breakdown one day. Although she had provided his alibi for a good while during the investigation, after Master P visited her again, this time with photos he found on Facebook of Boom Boom with another woman holding a baby, along with audio recordings of him and that woman from those photos having a discussion about her, the heartbroken woman decided to cooperate with the investigation. She claimed after questioning him about why he was being investigated and why his name was being brought up so frequently in relation to the fatal arson on Wilkins Street, Boom Boom dropped to his knees, wrapping his arms around her waist and cried, saying, I'm sorry, I ain't mean to do that." On January 8th, 2013, the federal grand jury ruled to indict Hector Boom Boom Natal, along with his father, Hector Morales, on conspiracy charges related to the drug trafficking and witness tampering, while Boom Boom was individually charged with attempted arson and arson resulting in death. In the superseding indictment, we learned the feds intended to prove Boom Boom and an unnamed resident of 50 Wilkins Street exchanged a series of phone calls in the week leading up to the arson, with 3 calls just hours prior to the arson. After the last call, prosecutors alleged Hector Morales drove Boom Boom to Howard and Spring Streets, then back to start the fire before dropping him off on Haven Street. Prosecutors alleged Boom Boom started the fire as revenge for the unnamed resident of 50 Wilkins Street's failure to pay his drug debt. Now, interestingly, Boom Boom was also being charged with an attempted arson at 4850 Wilkins Street from back in October 2010. According to court documents, 2 young members of the Roberson family caught Boom Boom in the hallway of 4850 Wilkins using matches in a failed attempt to light the carpet on fire. Now, this was allegedly in retaliation for an argument between him and other members of the Roberson family after he was confronted for recklessly lighting M80 firecrackers in the yard. While the father and son were awaiting trial, the task force was still working to solidify their case again, asking anyone with information to come forward, hoping that, now that they were behind bars, people would feel safer. Trial began in early April of the same year. Jurors heard emotional testimony from survivors and the firefighters that discovered the bodies of Quayshawn, Wanda, and Jaqueeta. Jurors then heard testimony from Boom Boom's girlfriend, Angie Money, who was at the time incarcerated on unrelated charges, as well as Master P, the fire marshal, and others involved in the investigation. Another witness we'll refer to as Miss B was a long-time across-the-hall neighbor and self-admitted friend of Boom Boom. She testified to her knowledge of his drug-dealing business, a heated argument over money she witnessed between Boom Boom and T from 50 Wilkins Street in her Poplar Street hallway, as well as recognizing him and his father at the scene of the fire wearing all black and maxed up before leaving in Hector Morales' van. Now, she originally gave conflicting statements to investigators, and her testimony was heavily scrutinized on cross-examination. It was revealed after her cooperation, her debt to the housing authority, which was reportedly in the thousands, was settled by the government. She also received funding to relocate and furnish a new home. Boom Boom's girlfriend also received money and assistance to relocate once she cooperated. After a 15-day trial, on April 18th, 2013, jurors found Hector Boom Boom Natal, and Hector Morales guilty on all counts.
8-year-old Quayshawn Roberson, 21-year-old Jaqueeta Roberson, and 42-year-old Wanda Roberson.
I missed them all. I am very happy for the verdict.
Today, a jury found 2 New Haven men guilty on all counts in connection to the arson. 26-year-old Hector Natal and his father, 50-year-old Hector Morales.
No one's conscience could let them get away with something so heinous.
2 years later, in January of 2015, Hector Morales was sentenced to 14.5 years in federal prison. In 2020, he filed a motion for compassionate release due to health issues related to the COVID-19 pandemic, which was granted in September of 2020, and he was released shortly after. On February 26, 2015, Hector Boom Boom Natal was sentenced to life imprisonment. He is currently serving his sentence at USP Terre Haute in Terre Haute, Indiana. First and foremost, my deepest condolences to the Roberson family with respect to the legacies of Quayshawn, Jaqueeta, and Wanda Roberson. They will not be forgotten, along with Wanda's heroic actions that night that prevented this tragedy from being unimaginably worse. The impact that their loss had on Fairhaven and the city in a whole is immeasurable. I personally feel that besides being outright despicable, Boom Boom's actions were as cowardly as it gets. Whether or not he considered the many innocent lives he endangered while he was pouring the gasoline, one could speculate, but ultimately his pride and anger led him to do the unthinkable. Much respect to the first responders and everyone involved in the case, as I imagine it had to traumatize some. Much love to Fairhaven as well, and the whole Elm City. If you're still here, I appreciate y'all. Connecticut Volume 4 is a wrap. More work coming at some point. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Please stay well and stay safe. Until next time, One Man Gang.